Oh my God, Jason from Fireball Tool. Good to see you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop with my buddy Dale Derry, all the way from California. He has a YouTube channel called Metal Tips and Tricks. I'm going to be giving him a shop tour, so I'd love you guys to tag along. I love building and designing, and naturally you run into problems when you do that. So this is my creative space to be able to R&D and design new tools to solve problems. I think I kind of want to get started, Dale.
Okay,
What do you want to do?
Check this thing out. This thing is killer, this Piranha.
Yes, this is a 90-ton Piranha. This will shear 1-inch thick plate, 6 inches wide, piece of flat bar. So it's pretty amazing. Got the nibbler on the side and the hole puncher. This will punch a pretty good size hole.
Well,
so 1 inch and like 1/2 inch plate.
But you have to have 3-phase for this, right?
No, this is a 240 volt machine, 10
no
horsepower. Yeah, so you could plug this into your welder outlet if you wanted to. It's pretty cool.
Can we put it on my truck?
We could try.
So you got a nibbler here, we can cut angle iron here, we can cut flat bar, and then we come over here and punch.
Yep, and then it also has bending dies and attachments. So it'll bend a 2-foot piece right inside this.
Oh, so we can put bending dies here.
Yep.
Nice.
And bend that way too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty slick machine.
Yeah, see, it'll work in my shop. I just don't have room for it.
No, it'd save you a lot of time though. They're pretty handy.
Very cool.
And then behind you is one of my first things that I've ever acquired. And when I first started mechanicking was an old Snap-on toolbox, and it was actually a gift.
Am I allowed to touch it?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. So it's the old school with no roller drawers, but I've just gathered a whole bunch of cheap tools when you first get started in mechanicking or building anything. So this whole toolbox is just...
But it's missing something.
What's that, a sticker?
Yes. Now it's complete.
It's perfect now. I saved that spot just for you. Yep.
Okay, so what is this?
This monstrosity.
God, it's ugly.
Of a contraption. Yeah, I got it at an auction.
Is it for clay?
You probably use it for clay.
Okay, it's not.
But I bought it for $15 at an auction because nobody knew what the heck it was. But it is actually a rotary positioner. So, and what's really cool about it is, this is called a Zero Max Gearbox, and they're pretty popular. And it's forward reverse, just with the turn of a switch. And you can go...
Oh, so it actually has, you have variable speed in there. So is that a plate with a...
I have no idea how it works, but I just know it works.
Because that's the way it looks by me.
So without any fancy electronics or anything, no, it's just, I want to go how fast.
Wow.
And then I always set it just a little bit faster, and I just kind of pulse the pedal if it's going too fast.
Okay.
But it goes from 0 to 400 RPMs.
Really?
Yeah.
So now when you're TIG welding, you don't have 1 foot operating, you have 2.
Yeah, it's one of those pat your head, rub your tummy type things. And that's the hardest part with this stuff, is just you got 2 pedals going on.
Well,
then you got a little steady rest, and I've actually made a torch attachment, so I put my cutting torch in here.
Oh, really?
This is before the water jet days. Put my cutting torch in here, and I could cut circles out with it.
Very cool.
So.
Okay.
But this is something that somebody could actually build. The grounding works off of brushes, motor brushes. So, So you just ground it to the foot pedal, and off you go. But I would like to rebuild it because I think it's hodgepodge, but it works at the end of the day.
It's a little podgy.
Yeah, it is a little podgy. And then I'm kind of a blue welder guy, as you can tell.
You're a blue boy?
A blue boy. So the TIG machine is a Syncrowave 250. I like the big box machines. They just work really well. They take up a lot of space, but at the end of the day, you turn it on and it works.
But how much space do you have here?
I have 5,000 square feet, so
I have 900, so I'm not feeling sorry for you that you can have big welders.
Yes, so big welder.
And you've had these for a long, well, that's actually a newer machine.
This is a newer machine. This is a 2015. This is a 452. This is 600 amps. power, and you can run, I run dual shield flex core with this machine.
So I got one important question. If you run this at 600 amps, do you have to wear like a lead shield so you don't get radiated.
It's pretty hot. But I like having one machine set for dual shield, and then we'll get around the corner and we'll have a solid wire machine that I like to use too. So I like to grab a stinger, weld, put it back, not change the spools all the time.
Very nice.
Yeah, and then
So we got the big clamp collection, which everybody's jealous of right now that's looking at this, I'm sure. I mean, this is just
It's pretty
crazy.
outrageous. Yes, so once you get one of these fixture tables that's behind me, it's kind of like any milling machine or any, the tooling is where most of the money's at.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you want to build things, and this is what makes it easier.
This is amazing.
And I'm going to do a video someday soon on my favorite tools out of this thing. And so it'll be basically what tools would I suggest that are top dog on my list. If you were to go to purchase some, which ones do I recommend? Well, we can just do it now. This 3-hole by 2 is like my favorite. If I had 100 of these, I use these more than anything.
Let's save that for another video as a teaser. I think
absolutely.
Now here's one of the things I love is you got a full nut and bolt collection.
Yeah.
That is one of the best investments, in my opinion, you can have in a shop for saving time.
I've always wanted a mini hardware store in my shop because the reasons I'm inventing and I'm prototyping tools and I'm building things with my tools, and this just allows me to save time. By the time I go to the hardware store, grab the right one, it pays for itself. And there I got a local Copper State nut and bolt, and they keep me all stocked up, and they've been awesome to work with.
Oh, they just come through every once in a while?
Once a week, and make sure I'm not low on anything and keep me stocked. Yep.
Very nice.
Yep, and they bring me stuff I need, so I don't have to leave here.
So what is all this junk on this rack?
Yeah, this is, obviously I have more squares than I know what to do with, so what do you do with them? I had a young apprentice here in the shop for the summer, and he's a beginning welder, so what kind of projects do you give a beginning welder?
Yeah.
And that I could also use, and I can teach him a little bit.
Right, right.
So I said, make this little tree. So in the top I keep all my tabs.
Wow. Did you design this, or you just kind of said, give me this?
Yeah, I just basically said, I want something I can grab quickly, just pull them off, put it on, they're out on the floor.
So do you think it's strong enough for a product concept?
I don't know. I know of one person that has this many squares, actually probably more, J.D. Brewer. He'd probably have to have a tree about this tall. But J.D. could use something like this too. I just like the point of reference. I'm on the table, I can just grab the square
I like
and go.
Because that's the challenge I'm having with my squares, is I actually keep them in drawers.
Yep.
Because it just works better in my shop.
Mm-hmm.
But a tree like this is really kind of an interesting way to go.
And then, of course, this is the welding table that kind of separated me on YouTube from the rest, is building this table. Unfortunately, the video is no longer on YouTube.
I know.
And that was my stupid self for not keeping backups, but I promise we'll build something like this again on the channel.
Well, and it was great because the challenge with building this table is you have all these smaller tables and to get them alignment, and you had such a great technique on that.
Yep.
And it would be great to see another video on how you did that.
Yep.
Because it was a 3-point string method.
3-point string wire method.
Yeah.
And and you look back,
and
it's
you
like
got these just like,
they are just.
look at that.
That's pretty difficult to do when you, at the end of the day, is to get all these surfaces just dialed in with each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is amazing.
I learned a lot from that exercise. But the table goes up and down, so this is a comfortable height for me for standing. So,
oh yeah, you've got a hydraulic system. So how much? So it'll drop down another 9 inches.
9 inches, and that's like I call it desk height. So you could sit at your chair and TIG weld.
Okay.
But this will also go up another 6 to 8 inches, and you can really get close to your work.
Oh, that's great.
So maybe if you're building something tall, you can drop the table down low.
Well,
that was the concept.
I weld on my forklift.
Yep,
That's
for that
my
reason.
Table. Those forks, and I have a button, and I can put it 10 feet in the air and weld underneath something,
and
bring it back down. And
yep.
It's nice because I'm old and my back hurts when I bend over too much.
Yep.
Just saying the truth.
And then
you have this block.
Yes, that is a 2.5 thick 8x5 piece of A32 plate, and it weighs about It's over 4,000 pounds. But for me, the table like this is for welding on a project that needs no assembly fabrication, just repair. It'd be like an excavator bucket, or maybe that vise you're repairing and you don't want to damage your fixture table.
You said you, as in me? I have to do that? Is that
well,
my
if you
project?
wanted to, but it's one of those things where you just don't care about the table.
Yeah.
And you just want to heat and beat and destroy. I think every shop needs a table that they're not afraid to get damaged.
Interesting is, it's so thick.
Yep.
I don't see any damage in it to speak of.
So
except
durable.
Where you've welded a couple, you know.
Yep, that was from the vise. That was from the vise test.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So an unmovable object you need to test vices.
Well, it's kind of like how I was going to say, how else could you have tested the vices except here?
Yeah. And then I keep C clamps underneath. Yeah, this is just gravity holding it down.
My gosh.
It's pretty fun.
Then you have your famous
vise
here.
My prototype.
And guys, you don't get to feel this, but this is silk. This is just so nice because you put bearings in here.
Yep.
And it's just
pretty effortless.
Couldn't be better. That is so nice.
Pretty fun. So I like it because it has a larger capacity.
Yeah.
And so it sits over there and I use it for that.
Yeah. If you guys didn't see the video, you need to check it out because this has, what, a 16-inch?
16-inch open, but realistically it's probably closer to 15 real working area.
Okay.
So you're not right at the end of the screw, but 15 to 16 inches.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And I keep soft jaws in it too, so I don't have to take them in and out.
I noticed there's a little
that was from the
texture.
test. That was from the beat test.
That was from the...
Yep. Because from the
I
bars, I tested all the other vices previously, and they were chewing up that bar. And that was the last vise to get tested. So when that smashed 15,000 pounds with my hand, it made that impression in the soft jaws. The other vices knurled that bar. Pretty fun.
So then we got, you know...
Oh, dude, this is actually one of my favorite tools is the Sandblast cabinet. This is a special cabinet. This isn't like a normal Sandblast cabinet. This is a pressure pot Sandblast cabinet.
But it automatically keeps feeding itself?
There's a plunger inside there, so when you release the pedal, the plunger comes down, the whatever media comes in, filters in pretty quickly. You hit the pedal again, that plunger comes up, stops it, pressurizes the system, and off you're going.
Now, are you using bead
nope.
or sand?
I use steel shot mixed in with a coarse steel. That's not it's sharp. I find that there's no dust.
Okay.
The only problem
But
is
it's nice because these are like little ball bearings, so they actually flow through the system. Where sand gets a little moisture, gets anything,
clogged.
Contamination.
Yeah, it's literally you let go of the pedal, the plunger comes down, and within 20 seconds that pot's full.
So when you let the plunger, it's pressurized pot.
Yep. So there's a plunger inside here that's like, it looks like a mushroom, and it blocks the bead, makes this sealed, and so you get a consistent flow of media.
Yeah. So, but when you hit that plunger, you're releasing the air of that's in that tank.
When you let go of the foot pedal, the plunger comes down. Yes, it's like a bypass. It turns the air off.
Yeah.
And it releases the air out of the pressure pot.
I've never seen that before.
And it works amazing. And this is a red line. Model number is, if anybody's interested, PSB C990.
So how often do you have to replace?
That's the worst part of the steel shot, is that the rebound is bad.
Right.
And
so here was something I found interesting. I forgot who talked about it, but he said off a supermarket scanners, that glass.
Oh.
You get that glass and use that.
Okay.
And it's like bulletproof.
I would see, because you're constantly dragging stuff across that.
Yeah.
I would love to replace that.
You know, because you can just put a grid of 4 of those in there.
Yep.
And that stuff is supposed to handle.
Then,
it's a form of Gorilla Glass.
If that's the case, this would literally be the ultimate cabinet with that shot in there, with that good glass. Because I have to replace the plastic on there fairly often.
Yeah.
Because the rebound is so bad. But you either get blurry screen or dust.
So then, since you're not getting dust, you have a vacuum system on it.
This does have a vacuum system on it.
But not as big as what? Like Adam Booth had that one where he had more vacuum.
Well, listen how loud it is.
These don't even. Yeah, see on mine, you hit the exhaust and it's like.
I probably could use
your hands out.
I probably could clean the filter out. It probably needs it, but because there's no dust, I almost don't even need to run the fan.
That's amazing.
And then I keep right next to it some all thread because I just like to have it in stock, ready to go, and
right.
That's the whole name of the game is just.
Yeah, you don't want to. I know when I'm working on something, if I have to stop and go to the store, the momentum's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I can look at it, go, I think this size will suit. I can look at it and almost kind of judge, will this work better for my application or not?
Right.
Just by seeing it.
Yeah.
So instead of just
I
using.
know, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to touch it, see it.
Yep. It's the same with the bolt. Like this bolt doesn't look quite strong enough for this application, and you can go and grab another one instead of just using what you got laying around.
So then we got another welder here.
This is the first welder I got. This was in 2002. It's an ESOB Multi-Master, and this was the Jesse James edition. When Jesse James had his monster garage, they were giving these away as the prize, and I'm like, as a beginning welder, like, man, stick, MIG, TIG, and it was one of the first machine that would kind of do it all.
Okay.
And I'm like, I have to have one, because as a beginning welder, you don't know what you're going to be doing.
Right.
And it's been a 300 amp machine, and it's just been solid for me. I've made a lot of money with this machine. A lot of money with this machine.
Now, did you ever do any TIG with it or anything?
Yeah, I did. I actually welded exhaust turbo manifolds with it, just scratch start TIG.
Really?
TIG'd it right up. But yeah, if you can find a used one of these, pick them up. They're excellent. They got dual feed rollers in there. They're really high quality product inside this machine. But I keep clamps, bar clamps. If you're into fabrication, you got to have sliding F clamps of every size, shape, and then what I call the go-kart belt grinder. This was my use for go-kart tires that I've been dragging around for the last 5 years, and I needed to find a use for it.
Yeah, it's either that or get rid of them.
It's either that or just toss them, so you might as well build something with them. But yeah, so this. The fastest this will turn is close to 9,000 surface feet per minute, which is around 100 and some plus miles per hour on the belt speed.
Okay.
And I can go down from there, but I normally run at around 6,000 to 7,000 surface feet per minute.
Okay.
And it's since the video, it's been it's almost been a year since I've built it, and I have not had a single problem.
Nice.
It's just been so rock solid. It's my favorite tool here in the shop, and I have a 40 grit belt on it now, but I normally run an 80 or 120.
Okay, so do you find a favorite speed for like tubing or solid material, or you're just
go? Well, because the surface speed is so fast that I can control the surface finish by just my pressure.
Okay.
So if I want to hog off more with a light grit belt, I just push harder.
Okay.
And then I want a nice surface finish, I just lighten up and just let the belt do its thing.
And these are ceramic, probably?
Ceramic belts.
Yeah. Nice. Yep. Nice.
But it's just been fantastic. I love it.
I love the paint job.
It's a candy red
I'm touching
powder coater. But it's just, everybody comes in the shop, loves to see it and see it work. It's pretty fun.
So now this is ugly.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Look at the contrast.
The two completely different styles and function. I got this from Adam Booth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you had it shipped up here then?
Yep, shipped up here. And there's an old Black & Decker. This is a 3 horsepower pedestal grinder. Runs 12-inch, 2-inch wide, solid discs, but I use it for high-speed steel grinding.
Nice.
Which I've actually found, though, that I can grind high-speed steel almost faster with the go-kart grinder.
Well, and what's interesting about this is because you get to cut the metal off so quickly, the metal doesn't heat up like it does on something like this.
Yep. And so if I can remove the bulk of it with the go-kart grinder and then come over here and get that scooped or that rake, the curvature of the wheel will allow you to do, then I don't have to spend so much time over here.
Right, right.
So, and then, so that's what it's used for. And I think it's just a cool piece of history. This thing will spin for like 5 minutes after you turn it off, which it's just
so it doesn't
incredible.
have an automatic brake, a built-in brake or anything.
You just look over and it's still
and of
going.
course, it's 3-phase.
3-phase. Yep.
Right.
Pretty cool.
And then just a nice little simple.
Little pedestal grinder. I keep a white stone and a wire wheel.
And what's the white stone for?
Fine tuning the high-speed steel or sharpening drill bits.
Okay.
So it's just a real fine grit. It's just for that last, just to touch up your tools, and that's not for heavy grinding.
So what's that over there?
What's what? Oh, there we go. And then, I don't know, there's a little bit of size difference between the two of these. Right? This is pretty, I've never seen anything like this until literally.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. If my wife were to see this,
Okay.
now we have rules.
Okay.
We can claim different things. So she comes in with something that's really cool, I can claim that it's mine.
Oh, nice.
She would claim this.
Okay.
This would be tossed, and she'd have me make a table out of this base.
Out of this base. And that's what's so cool.
Look at it, though.
The base is so neat.
Oh my gosh.
So I got this from David Demois on Instagram, and then Andrew Alexander from Blacksmith Tools contacted me, says, I have the grinder for you. This is fit perfect in your shop because I know you like big things. And I said, I took one look at it and go, yeah, I have to have that. That's so neat.
So what's this weigh out at?
Around 4,000 pounds, and it's 15 horsepower, 30-inch disc.
Oh, and that's right. You told me the discs are 250 pounds.
Yeah, I took this disc off to inspect it. It's 250-pound disc. That's what it weighs.
Okay. If you took, well, I was going to say if you took all my grinders, but that's not right. Would almost weigh. Okay, if you took all my pedestal grinders.
Yes.
Wouldn't weigh 250 pounds.
Yep. But at the end of the day, I want to build some sort of attachment for the other side of this. And I have a million ideas, and I just haven't decided on what I want to do with that side yet. So to me, this is a blank canvas off of this shaft. And be able to use the base.
Do you know what the diameter of that is?
I think it's a 3.5-inch shaft.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's either 3 or 3.5. It's pretty good size.
Okay. But then you've got extra holes in here you can attach to. You can build a hole.
I can build this shaft is an extension off this table, so you can slide it and build off this.
Okay.
There's just a lot of options when you look at it. In my mind goes and explodes with awesome ideas.
Nice.
But yeah, it'd be a great power source for something.
Yes, that is excellent. So then we have your...
Yeah, this is the build. Since my little table is, well, little, I'm running into the problems. I want to fabricate something larger, and I'm in love with hold fixture tables. And after you use them, they really do spoil you. My buddy Reed had really turned me on to his strong hand Build Pro table, and I just said, you know, I'd like to have one.
And what are the holes on, 2-inch?
2-inch centers, 5/8, ground plates on both top and bottom, so you can flip them over. And they're built on a pretty heavy-duty frame. And I've just found that it just works really well for fabrication. If you want to build something and have multiples of the same,
and you could take a nap in the
you
afternoon.
can take a nap. Yeah, it's just a really neat system.
Nice.
And
now it doesn't. You can change the height of it, but you have to.
Yeah, you got to lift it up to change it.
You have to bring it in with a forklift or something to change its height.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And the side braces are adjustable, and I like them high so I can get brooms underneath it.
And you can also offset these.
Yep.
So you could bring one out to here.
And then the other one out to here.
Right.
Go even
so
wider.
You can get a bigger table if you needed it.
Yep.
Wow.
And then this came from Southern California, and you can tell it showed up on my showed up at the door, tipped over on the Piranha. So it was nice and painted shiny, but this is the version 25-ton mechanical press.
So you came here and the driver had already dropped it off?
No, he backed up to the door, opened this roll-up door, and this thing was literally tipped over on top of the...
Piranha was in there also.
Yep. And so it had made it all the way from Southern California, perfectly fine. They reloaded it here in Spokane on another truck. Truck driver didn't strap it down and gave me a nice big boo-boo. This is 1/4-inch plate, and it's all dented in.
dented.
Yep. So, but you know, what do you
my
do?
gosh.
Is it gonna make or break the machine? But it was in pristine condition. But
And
no,
do you have other?
that's the only dies I have for it.
I know a place you can get more.
Do you?
Yeah, the guy's got it.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
because it's also nice because you can come all the way out the end. Well, you don't have much of a
I
throat.
think
You
it's
got a little bit.
50. I think it's 55 inches in between.
Okay.
But it's an 8-foot if it's 8-foot capacity if you're not going all the way through. Yeah, love
And
it.
what's this funny looking thing?
Right now it's floor art. But it's his name's Jason. He contacted me at the Stan's Bash this last year and says, "Hey, I have a Camelback straight edge and a 12-foot straight edge. If you're interested in it, we'll make you a good deal on it." So
Okay.
to me, I think they're just neat looking. So regardless of if I ever use it, I'll probably still use it as a straight edge, but never actually to scrape anything in.
But now this is an 8-foot steel. The other one is 12-foot aluminum with a cast
Yes,
foot.
shoe or
Yeah,
surface.
Surface.
So that one I'll probably use because I can handle that by myself.
Right.
I can
right.
measure this table, but this one's 2-person job.
Yeah.
So, but for right now, I just think they're neat because I love tools and pretty heavy. Whoever is operating these things, I have to give them props because you're going to be exhausted by the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
So
And then you have to scrape.
and then you
have
got to
lift,
scrape.
lift, scrape.
So I got to figure out a place to display it when I'm not using it because I just love the look of them. They're just classic machine shop. Pretty cool.
So now we have our speeder.
Yes, this is, Adam Booth found this for me when I mentioned I was looking for a shaper, a small shaper just to be able to use for odd projects, and he found me this one from Georgia and had it shipped up here by Fred. Brought it to me, special delivery.
Oh, Fred.
Yep, Fred. And he's got a video on him bringing it up to me. But
Okay.
yeah, this is the largest shaper Cincinnati made, which is 36-inch heavy duty. So I do have a video on talking about all the knobs and switches, but
Gosh.
it's just, what's your first reaction when you see it in person?
It's huge.
Right. It's just,
And I want one.
yeah, it's one of those luxuries because I have the extra space in here to be able to have it as a useful tool and toy in here in the shop.
But what's sad, I bet if I keep driving the back roads, I'll find one in some yard sitting out in a field just sitting there.
Yep. Well, if you do and it has a tool lifter on it, I got dibs on it. So. No, but that's the next project to really make this thing awesome is a tool lifter. So I'll be able.
Well, this has a clapper box.
Yep.
But
So-
not a. What's a tool lifter?
Oh, the tool lifter is on the return stroke. It lifts it up.
Oh,
so
automatically, so it's not dragging.
So it's not dragging. So then you can run.
So what pushes it out, or what activates it?
It's a drag link. It's just basically a drag rod. So
Okay.
it's a friction bushing on the side of the machine. So when it's coming back, that rod's trying to push,
And then it
And
levers, pushes.
and
Gotcha.
it pushes it back because
Yeah.
there's drag. And then when it's going forward, it's drag, and it slams it shut. So it's just a drag link is all it is.
Oh, so it's not rocket
It's
science.
not rocket science. No, not at all.
I mean,
but
even you could make something like that.
the complexity is when you start tilting the head that it also needs to have some movement and flexibility to follow.
Okay. Okay.
But no, I just need the time to do it, and that's the commodity around here that's short. It's time. But
so what I love about this anvil, this is all fake. This is styrofoam.
I wish it was because it'd be a lot easier to move around. But no, this is a 450-pound Taylor & Sons anvil that I got from Andrew Alexander from the Good of the Land Fest last year.
Okay.
So I was in the market for a fun big anvil, and he had this one. I'm like, it looks pretty sweet to me. And it sat under the table for the last year because my projects are a mile long. I'm like, I have to get this thing up off the floor.
Right.
And so I just threw together a stand underneath
What's so
it.
funny is you have scrap metal laying around like this.
Inch and a 5/8 plate just laying around.
Yeah.
That's like, I'll make it out of that.
Yeah, but you just don't pick that up.
No. Like it takes my brother and I just one plate of it to get it off the table.
Oh yeah.
But I think it has to somewhat match the size of the anvil. I think it needs to, the stand needs to almost be as heavy as the anvil is. That's just my personal.
Well, I know there's something about the inertia when you hit.
Yep.
You don't want their flexibility. You want that to help absorb and add to it.
And you can get away with that if you do a straight post where you just transfer all that load in the ground.
Yeah, but if you're hitting over here.
That's very true. You don't have it.
Yeah. No, this is the right way.
Yep.
That is fun.
Up next is the drill press. This one's from Harbor Freight, and one of the reasons why I got it is because of how slow the spindle turns.
Right, right.
But in order for it to be a little more versatile for me here in the shop, I added this drill press plate.
Very cool.
And it just simply attaches to the existing by these screws.
Yeah.
And it just goes right through the T-slots, or you can bolt it right through the table. You're able to use all the Build Pro tooling and be able to put your quick clamps in to be able to quickly clamp your parts. I like being able to use the pin stops.
Yeah. Very cool.
To be able to use just to indicate parts up against something so I can run it through.
Wow.
Use the clamps.
That is so nice.
It's a pretty handy little feature to add onto the drill press. I do have a few for sale on the website.
So, have you gotten into using this thing hardcore? Or
yeah.
Just kind of,
No,
it's just a cool thing.
No, I use this anytime I need to cut steel. This is where I cut it on.
This is your friend.
This is my friend. It's so versatile.
And what do you have for a capacity? What do you have, 18?
This is 19 inches. 19 by 19 capacity.
Okay.
And the head tilts over, which is a special. You rarely see a saw where the whole head tilts over. And I like that I can put...
Unless it's a Marvel.
Unless it's a Marvel.
But they also made this that didn't tilt.
I believe so,
I think I ran across a friend or somebody on Craigslist that had one of these that didn't tilt because I was sure that it tilted, and he goes, nope.
Nope.
And I studied and went,
nope, doesn't tilt.
Why would you buy it?
Yep. So the head tilts, and so this is a Marvel Series 1. But
it moves that easy.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is it's feeding, the motor is through here. You have a spline shaft.
Yep. And it's just a spline drive
And
shaft
flat.
and a flat belt.
Wow.
So this came from Grand Coulee Dam. This was in the maintenance department of our famous Grand Coulee Dam. Yep, so it came from a fab shop, local. I got it from them, but they got it from the maintenance shop from Grand Coulee Dam.
Okay, Grand Coulee Dam trivia.
Okay.
So cement actually is a chemical process to harden, so it heats up. They actually ran water tubes through the entire dam to help get rid of the heat.
Very cool.
It took like 30 years before the cement was actually cured and the temperature was normal.
I could believe that. That dam is gigantic.
That much concrete.
If you've never seen the Grand Coulee Dam in person, I recommend it because it's a pretty impressive piece of... we owe a lot to that dam in this area. It provides all our power from that.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have a cool piece of history from that historical landmark. I feel privileged.
So it was up on an auction or something?
No, they put us on Craigslist, up for sale. They actually bought a the Marvel Series 2 and no longer needed this one. So
oh, really? So they were still using it.
Yeah,
then.
yeah, they didn't want.
And dams have some pretty nice stuff.
So I would believe that this was probably purchased new in the 50s from the dam. So
I bet you're right.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so nice.
Pretty fun.
So back here, we're starting to get more into getting away from fab, getting into machining.
Yep. This is my Acer 1440. This is the second actual machine that I actually ever owned for as far as machining goes. And it actually came out of a local high school here. So I find I use it for 75% of the things that I need here in the shop. It has enough accuracy for what I need. And at the end of the day, I think every fab shop should have a lathe in there. I'm disappointed that in my career that there's been a lot of things that I needed to build, but I never had access to a lathe, so you end up just using pipe or DOM tubing when you could solve a lot of problems with a lathe. This isn't a complex machine. It really isn't at the end of the day.
And you're doing BX?
Yep.
On the holders?
Yep, BX holders, and this is
DRO?
DRO.
Do you use it? Or?
Yeah, I use it, yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just inexpensive DRO, but it works good, just glass scales that you get off eBay.
Okay.
So, but I think it's a great size for somebody who needs...
and I owned almost this exact lathe. Mm-hmm. And it was a good lathe.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I'm looking at the knobs. I mean, it's almost very similar. Actually, a little different here. But I ended up, so you have 2 knobs to control your RPM for your head.
Yes.
I actually found, I just marked what speeds they were here.
Okay. That
And
makes way more sense.
Yeah, because then I could just, because they're not linear.
Yeah, they're not.
You know, A, B, and C, it should be, A should be fast, B should be medium, and it's like...
Yeah, it's kind of all mixed matched.
It's all over the place.
Yep, and then this is just random table. This is the 50 taper, some of my 50 taper tooling for the Kearney and Trekker, and then I keep drill bits for, I like to have a set of drill bits by the lathe, a set of drill bits by that lathe, a set of drill bits by the mill.
Okay.
The most common ones, just like the fractionals,
Right,
but then I keep all the, everything in between is over here. So if I do need a drill bit, probably have it.
Right.
Letters, numbers, silver dimming, and then big fraction. You just don't know what you're going to build, and a drill bit will get you there for the most time. Some steel stock that I keep here randomly. Every time I go to the steel.
I guess I was going to say this. I was going to say it's mostly round, but you do have some square stock.
Some squares. I got them in buckets, and if I go to my local steel supply, I always go to the remnants, and I will never leave there without buying something.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to go, I'm going to buy remnants. It's the best way to buy a piece of aluminum is when it's 25 cents on the pound.
Wow.
So that's the only way I buy material, and I may not need it right at that moment, but
the day you do.
But the day you do, I'm way ahead.
Is your steel place pretty close by?
It is. It's a 10-minute drive.
Okay, so it's not horrible.
It's not horrible, but like you said, if you have to leave the shop,
the
project's done.
I gotta say, these are actually nice.
They are nice, and once you,
I'm like going, wow.
And I probably would have spaced these maybe a couple inches closer, maybe just a couple, but overall, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And the chips just build up in here, and I just let it go. Very low maintenance.
Really?
Because you don't have to clean the chips out nearly as often as you do the rubber mats.
Okay.
But,
so then we have. Oh, you guys had to come in here closer. I call this the candy store. You guys ready? We have our red candy here.
You gotta show them what it's actually in there. Do they even know what it is?
Multicolors here. So we're set up with different types of end mills, and you have everything under the sun in here.
Almost every length and flute and nose.
Wow.
And almost any size you want.
Oh, what's that?
And all the way to the big.
So that's a 2-inch shank.
Yep.
Can you fit that on your Kearney?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You've got a nice.
Yep. And I got bigger ones. I mean, I got.
Us guys, we're always bragging about our cutters.
Yep.
Oh man, that is so nice.
Yeah. So they got the listas. So 1/2 inch, 3/4, 5/8, and then all the way down to microscopic almost eyeglass size.
Really?
I've never used one, but you're probably.
Well, I've used some really small cutters, and you'll be like, I had this one project where I had to cut a really small groove, and I'd just been working with a 1-inch cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess what happened?
Snap. No! Yep, you end up breaking them.
Yeah.
Well, the way I have this little machine shop set up is the tooling is all in the center because it's all the tools almost use all the same tooling. So the machines go around the outside, and then tooling is in the center.
Okay.
It's kind of my concept of how to set up a machine shop, but everybody's different. And then so this is the wash-on 125.
Wash on.
Wash-on. Yep. And it's gigantic.
You guys got to look at this lead screw. Look at this thing. Oh my God.
It's got to be like 1.5 inch lead screw.
Let's see. What is it, about 4 pitch?
It's pretty massive.
Look at the gap between there. That is amazing. And the ways are in just perfect shape. And you got this at an auction.
Got this at an auction.
Oh, look at this is nice. So the protractor on this.
Mm-hmm. It's big.
It's big
Yeah.
and it's deeply cut in.
Yep.
It's not like a little sticker.
Nope.
You know, nice big dials. Oh, that feels nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, and what I more than anything is I have over 6 inches of
Travel.
cross slide. So a lot of the tapers, I mean, I can cut a 6-inch long taper now without having to have a taper attachment or adjust.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I haven't found the need for it because my compound is so big.
I've never used one.
Yeah.
And what size block
That's
is
a
this?
CA.
CA, okay.
Yep. So since I don't use this half of the machine all that often, and I just built a little table.
Is that a steel table?
Steel table with
Okay.
a wood top, and then it just fits in between. It's on Delrin slides, so if I want to slide it, I can.
Okay.
And just 2 bolts, I can pull it off.
Right.
And just a little rotisserie to keep the tools close at hand. Well, the other problem is, because I film in here and I like to share my projects, I don't have a splash guard on the back of this machine.
Oh, right.
Where normally I would put a splash guard, a big hood over it so I could douse everything with coolant.
Right.
But because I like to share my projects, I have to leave it exposed.
Yeah.
So therefore, sometimes I don't run coolant on camera because it wrecks the shot.
Right.
And so I need to leave this access open to film through.
No, that's cool.
So this is my solution to a
I got
problem.
you, instead of over the top here.
Yeah, where normally you'd mount everything, just grab and go. Well, the viewers come first.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do a project.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Viewers come first.
Well, I have to remember that I'm sharing my projects with you guys, so I have to set this shop up to be able to film in it too.
Right.
Not only work and be productive, but share the projects.
Right.
So,
right. So what is this?
A 5.
5 Morse taper.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what it is in the headstock? Or what's
this
what's
is
your
a 3.5 through hole.
Oh God, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, to put a 3.5-inch shaft through there
Yeah.
is pretty sweet. So the way I have this, the 2 lathes are designed, the way I set them up is if I want to put something through the through hole on that one, everything's linear
perfect.
through here, and I can use the steady rest.
That's what I was gonna say.
Off the end of this, and I
Fantastic.
can use the through hole in both.
Fantastic.
So this thing's not whipping around. So there is some method to my madness, of course.
Perfect.
So
That's just perfect.
kind
And
of
you always keep the forge on here, I assume.
keep the forge on there.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just not worth it.
It's good practice, but at the same time, I actually kind of like the forge off in some ways. It's an extra
Keith
30
Fenner,
seconds.
he's coming after you next
I don't
year.
know about that, but a 25-inch chuck is just awkward no matter who you are.
That's 25 inches across?
Yeah, it's just
Oh, yeah.
everything's just bigger. I mean, the T handle's just huge.
Well, yeah.
So-
But I do like what Tom Lipton does. He'll just chuck a smaller chuck in there,
Yeah.
what he needs.
Yep. And I've thought about throwing the 3-jaw in there, but at the end of the day, it's like, am I in that much more hurry to so what's an extra 40, 50 seconds, maybe in a minute to screw something up?
Wow, you're fast. I think you're getting.
I don't know if I'm that fast.
You're challenging.
It's
You're
just practice. Like anything, once you know what you're doing, once you know what you're
think-
if you watch
I
the
think you're
Metal
getting
Tips and
ready.
Tricks videos on how to do a 4-jaw chuck, then you're ready to go.
There you go. There you go.
And then, so I'll give you guys a sneak peek of what's kind of going on behind the scenes here in the shop or my next project. This is my first kind of machinist tool. I call these parallel blocks. I'll show you how they work. So the idea and concept behind this is basically it's just a parallel jack. So let's say I wanted to drill a whole bunch of holes in this piece of bar, and you put it on a parallel. Let's say this is a 1.1 parallel to get it up to drill my holes. Well, I'm able to put this block and set these screws at the same elevation as the floor of my vise, and then drop the same parallel right into this block. Mm-hmm. And then then I have a stand at a quick second, and it will
so you can
support the ends.
Yeah.
And then
So you can put the exact same parallel here that you have here.
Yep.
Everything's lined up because of these.
Yep.
And then you got the support.
Got the support, and then you have linear support, which a normal jack only gives you a point.
Right, right.
So now I have support across the longer surface, and you can clamp it to your T-slots, and there's a cup in there. But I made these for myself, and so I made a couple extra, and I'll throw them up on the website. So first come, first serve kind of a situation. But I wanted cast versions. And so this is kind of my
first.
So
now you've gotten these cast. Now you're doing the machining on these here. Is that right?
These are done in a CNC machine.
Oh, they are? Okay, okay.
Yep, so they're toolless, and then you could take them out and put a set screw in there. Then they have spherical washers.
So you can handle the...
And then they'll take an 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch parallel. Or you could
Nice.
set this down an 1/8 of an inch lower and run the
Right.
next size up parallel.
Right.
So you can utilize
Well,
it.
that's because that's the other thing is some people don't have enough parallels.
Yep.
So
And
you could do it that way.
if you think about it, you're not using the rest of them in here.
Right.
So why not utilize your parallels to
Yeah.
the maximum ability?
Yeah.
So and it's just for speed.
Yeah.
So you drop it down.
Well, it's so much... Well, do we have a normal jack?
I do have a normal jack.
Okay, so here's what a normal jack would do. You'd bring this in and crank it up.
Yep.
But the problem with the normal jack, for one thing,
I hate that.
you're always falling in between the cracks. It only has one point.
Yep. So
The other thing I like about this is you got the width. And we were talking about this at one time of drill a set of holes in here, and then you could bring a clamp bar over,
Yep.
and then you could get rid of that
Yep.
vibration at this end.
Exactly. So this is left open at the moment because I don't know. I'll leave that to the end user, what holes they want drilled in it,
So-
or where. Maybe they want...
So do I get a set?
Of course. So, but yeah, this is the Acer. This is my, I guess it's a good time to talk about it. This is my first milling machine, machinist machine that I purchased. So this is an E-mill, and it's a 2 horsepower variable frequency drive, so it's infinite speed.
Yeah, because you're telling me it just has one timing belt in there.
That's it.
So it's direct drive, it's direct
Direct
drive,
drive.
so we're not losing any energy through the V-belt.
Yep, and it's really quiet on camera. You turn it on, it's just really
Just
silent.
hums.
Yep.
And this is on ball screws.
Ball screws.
Square, actually these are square ways here,
Yep.
and on the Z-axis for the table, but this is, what do they call these, dovetail.
Dovetail. And so this is a little heavier machine than a Bridgeport. This weighs in about 3,500 pounds, so an extra 1,000 pounds heavier than a normal Bridgeport. But it's basically a Bridgeport clone.
1,500
Oh,
pounds.
15
It's almost double.
Oh, that's probably almost
It's
double.
a normal Bridgeport's 2,000.
Is it only 2,000? I thought it was
Yeah,
close to 25.
but you get a bigger table on it, whatever it can add to it. But a basic Bridgeport's 2,000.
You're right. So it is quite a bit heavier.
Yeah.
But so this machine is made in Taiwan.
How did you do in math in school?
Not very well.
We could tell. Okay. So you got it new then?
Oh no, I
No.
buy it used.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Because when I first get started in this, what do? You can't afford a new machine.
Right.
But this is what started all the inventing for me. Did a
Really?
lot of machining on this.
Oh, this. So you've owned this for how many years then?
Going on 7 years now, I think.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
Very exciting.
And then, of course, you always want more, and that leads us to the Kearney and Trekker. This is a number 3.
So what sizes does Kearney have?
They have a 2, 3, 4, and a 5, I think.
Okay.
This weighs 9,000 plus pounds, has 10 horsepower. This is a 50 taper, and this is a war machine. This was built in 1943.
Okay.
So, and it came from the coast, so I'm guessing it had something to do with the shipbuilding or...
So you got it around Everett then?
Yep. I had
Okay.
a guy actually came over and brought it to me. But
Okay.
it's just, it is amazing to machine. It uses cutters that are this big. Yeah, that's a little one. That's a 10-incher. I got 12 and 14 inchers in the back.
Oh my goodness.
So, but yeah, you need to move some metal. It'll move some metal.
Well, that's what this is about.
And it's a different.
You're not wasting your time on this, are you?
No, it's a different process than a CNC machine is nowadays. Is CNC machines light passes faster.
Right.
Where this is just one big cut, one time, be done with it.
Get it done.
Yep. But I like the horizontal aspect.
And do you have the vertical
Yep,
head on it?
got the vertical head. This is the special, but it's so heavy. And the old shop I had, I built a crane for it.
Yeah.
And so I want to build another something like that here, and then I can service the e-mill and the Kearney Trekker. But it'll be some sort of, this will be the counterbalance of its crane. So I'll make it to where this machine sits on the counterbalance.
Okay,
for the base.
This is weird. This is a dovetail, square way, but this is where it controls it. This here is just surface.
Yep.
So that, but it has a way for underneath here.
Yep.
So it just keeps it from going up and down, but this tracks it straight.
Yep, and it has another way on this side too. So it's got two ways, or two gibs.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So this also has the back controls. It's pretty fun.
Oh, so the controls here are basically the same up here.
Because you can't, if you're working off this cutter in your works here, you can't
Right.
see what you're doing.
Now, does this table turn?
No.
Okay, so that's the next level up. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, pretty fun.
So then we have a little drill press here.
Yeah, the little tiny drill press. This is the Victor radial, 3-foot radial drill.
Okay.
And the idea behind this is you can put anything you want. I could put something here on the floor and drill with it if I wanted
Right.
to.
It's just as long as you can hold it stable.
As long as you
it's
hold it
heavy enough
stable.
to handle it.
Yep.
And again, what size motor is this?
This is a 3 horsepower, I think.
3 horsepower.
3 horsepower.
And then
4 taper.
And this is the speed control for the. So we can go 88 up to 1500.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, and I only run Jacobs chucks in all my drills. I've got rid of all my, except for my all bricks.
Oh, aren't you the cool one?
Right. I've had too many. I don't know. I've tried them all. I got a whole drawer full of drill chucks, and at the end of the day, I just keep coming back to the Jacobs chucks.
I showed you how to fix one of these.
I did. Yep. But yeah, it's a pretty fun machine to operate. It's pretty smooth. You ever used one before?
Oh, no, I have, but not like that.
Right? Isn't that so smooth?
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. So then this will lock it down,
Yep.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. So then we also have coolant you can run on it. Do you do the coolant very often? Mm-mm. It's too messy, isn't it?
Too messy. I just squirt oil on there.
Yeah.
Coolant, and I love the range of speeds. Normally, it's like when you're running a big 2-inch drill bit,
Okay.
you need to go slow.
Okay.
And
yeah.
you can tell this machine is designed for running big drills.
Right. Right. Very nice. So we have our little dual here.
This is probably, I use this for everything. I do all with it. I'm finding myself, though, I'm cutting wood through it, and I shouldn't be.
Why?
Just because it kind of dulls the blade, I've found. Like the wood just kind of gets
a little
clogged,
gummy in
gets
there?
a little gummy in there,
Right.
and then I go to use steel, like, shoot. So I'll probably just be only using this for metal, and I'll be looking for a wood bandsaw
Okay.
of something similar of size.
So then the speed on this, is it controlled by?
Yep, this is variable drive, variable speed.
Okay, so you turn that knob, it turns a motor that changes the pitch of the pulleys. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, this thing is just bulletproof. It just tracks straight, and just an industrial machine. It's like made in USA, you know.
There we go. There we go.
And then this little goofy table is the one I had in my very first welding table. Made of, I hate to say it, I made a lot of money with this piece of junk.
Well, it doesn't take much.
No, it really doesn't. You get creative with
I mean,
what you
it's
need
fun
to do.
having the biggest tools, the best tools, but at the end of the day, give you a 4-inch grinder and a stick welder, and you can still build everything. It just takes longer.
You can do a lot with it. So, I mean, this is what got me started. And
Yeah.
this is what I think everybody, if you don't have anything, get yourself just a piece of steel and start from there. And then as your skills increase and your need, and then you can upgrade to a better table. But, and just find if you're interested in welding. So
you're getting into fake machining now.
I am
is
kind
that
of
what
getting
I see
into
here?
fake machining.
I see a CNC Fidal.
Yep, this is an older 1990 Fidal. I got this at an auction because I wanted the tooling that this machine had with it. So it came with 4 Kart 10-inch vices. And
that's why there's so many of those laying around here.
Yeah, so, and it came with a wall full of tools.
Okay.
And all the holders. And at the end of the day, I didn't care what the machine was like. Like,
Okay.
I just wanted the tools. So it was just dirty, and I've been cleaning it up, and I got all the manuals, got the programs loaded into it, and I can run a program in it. But at the end of the day, I want to get it drip fed off of a laptop, and that's my next.
Is that what they call it?
Because this processor's kind of slow,
Right.
you just kind of have to like feed it a little bit for it to keep up.
Oh,
But
it's that slow.
It's not that slow. It's just not a brand new Haas or Mazak machine. But for what I want to use it for prototyping, this is going to work awesome.
So you can actually still use this controller, do the jog, all that, but you can have a laptop underneath it, plug it in, and it'll actually bypass this.
Right. And it'll drip feed through the tape, because this had, remember when these were, they have a tape.
Oh, this was a tape. What year is this again?
90. Yeah, I know, right?
90? Wow.
Yeah, we were that far back. But you use it through tape, and then you can control this thing just like a modern CNC machine. But this has box ways. This is a 4020, so it has pretty good capacity, 15 horsepower.
10,000 RPM?
10,000 RPM. And he's got super slow tool changes, but at the end of the day, for prototyping,
as long as you don't have to change them,
I'm happy.
And what is it, a 20?
20 tool cassette.
Okay.
Yep. But you can find these machines really.
And you've milled with it. So
I have not milled with it yet, but I have
the
got.
head's not screaming at you or anything.
Nope. And it's just too bad that it sat for so long outside, and it just got. The oil just got crud all over it, and I'm still through the cleaning process. But it does work, turns on. I can run a load of program, and off we go. Nice. So I look forward to learning this side of machining also.
Yeah.
I think I think everybody needs to know a little bit about it. A student of everything, master of none.
There you go. There you go.
Yep. And then this is where squares come to die when they don't make the cut, literally. And then this is my automatic bandsaw.
So what does automatic actually mean?
Which means
load the stock?
No, it won't load it will feed the stock. It won't load it. So if I load a 20-foot stick in here, then I can, until that stick runs out, then that's when it will stop.
But it'll take the stick and it will bring it 12 inches, 12 inches, 12 inches, cut, cut, cut.
Yep.
Really?
So you set what you want for scale, and then say, but it'll do a maximum of only 32-inch cut.
Okay.
And it'll just sit here and do the crazy playing piano all by itself, and sit here and just lop you off pieces.
So the head raises, everything does this and that.
And this is I want to say it's a late 60s, early 70s machine.
Okay.
And it still works.
And will it do angle?
It will not do a compound.
So it's just straight?
Yep. But if you need lots of parts cut, this is the tool for it.
Okay.
And so the way I have this table set up is this table and this table are the same height.
Oh, really?
So when I want to use this, I just roll this back.
Okay.
And I put my material on top of this table, and I use it as another end feed.
Nice.
And then vice versa. I use this end of this table as the end feed of this one.
Right. Well, I keep forgetting the head moves on this, so you clamp to the table.
Yes.
The blade comes forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm utilizing the space for two saws in a wise motion.
Yeah.
So
now we have the big machine.
Yep.
Although these are beautiful.
Yeah, these are. I'm a big Lindy German forklift fan. Because I have such large equipment in here, I need to be able to move them around. And one's a 5,000 pound, and the other is a 10,000 pound.
I didn't see this.
Yeah,
I've never seen that control panel.
Finger controlled. I mean, everywhere where they pull off for the tilt cylinders is up high. Normally they're like all down low.
Right.
And it's powered by a little Volkswagen turbo diesel engine.
Oh, it's a turbo?
Yep, turbo diesel. And so both of them are Volkswagen powered, but they're
no, it's the turbo.
It's a turbo.
Turbo.
Yep.
I didn't hear it like.
Yeah. And this is a 6,000 pound machine.
Nice.
For how small it is, it's pretty good for pretty small.
Nice.
So.
And you got extra long forks on it.
Extra long forks to be able to load the water jet.
Oh,
because
gotcha.
I have a magnetic lifter to be able to lift the material up and then reach into the center of the water jet.
Right,
Because I don't have an overhead crane in here.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
here we are.
the Mach 500.
So what was amazing, when I walked in here, I looked at this thing, and the first thing I went is, I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah,
This thing is huge.
so if you can get, when you run the Z up, you can put something as big as whatever the Z and cut.
Really?
Yep. Or
So you got almost 18 inches.
or
16
even
inches
more
on
if
your
you want
Z.
to remove the slats
Uh-huh.
and cut, you drop a part into the tank.
Okay.
And you can cut the part that way too. Let's just say you had a table and you wanted to flip it over.
Right.
You could cut the base plate or whatever and drop it into the tank.
Right.
But yeah, I have a whole video where I talk about the ins and outs and how the machine works, and it's pretty educational if somebody wants to learn how a water jet functions. But at the end of the day, it's like this is machines here also to help me prototype and be productive and do some work.
Okay, because really your shop, this is not to manufacture. This is to invent and prototype.
Right.
That's really what this is. This is your R&D.
At the end of the day, somebody has to invent the next tool.
Yes.
And where do you do that?
Right.
And a lot of these tools are my personal tools. So what do you do? I mean, how do you, a lot of my inspiration comes from just building, because I enjoy welding, fabricating, machining, and that's where the inspiration comes from, is trying to solve a problem.
Yeah.
And if you're not building, you're not going to solve problems.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And then I'm able to, with YouTube, I'm able to communicate with the customer. They have a direct line with me, which is very fun.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to invent, and so that's what this space is for.
The machine needs something.
It needs a sticker. And it's so true. This machine will definitely build something cool.
Doesn't that look better?
Yeah.
I just made this cut more accurate with a better finish.
Yep, it's pretty cool. And I just keep the material behind here, nothing fancy. Don't mind that big, huge 40 and 45-inch I-beam back there. You don't look at that, because that might be for another project. But
it's the elephant in the room now.
It's the elephant in the room now.
You just said it.
I know.
Don't look at the I-beam.
But yeah, so
Jeez.
I'm kind of not. I'm not very organized, and I never have been.
He's
I
a
never.
machinist slut.
I never will be organized, and I will never change. This is my chaos.
This is okay.
It's okay. I mean,
I can show you shops that you can't even walk in.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about mine.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is pretty fun. And then I guess I'll show you we keep our camera equipment over here, because to me a camera is also a tool for product photography,
Right.
for shooting videos for the website, and then YouTube, and we just keep everything in the cabinet. And I'm a lens nut. I love lenses. I love
you
cameras.
have more lenses than I do.
I like to use Canon cameras, so we primarily use a Canon 80D, Canon 1DX Mark II, and a Canon C200. That way all the lenses fit all the cameras.
Nice. Nice. Well, Jason,
Well,
thank you so much for the
Thank you,
tour.
Dale.
This
Absolutely.
was fantastic.
It's so fun to be able to share with you the
Yeah,
shop. You're more than
yeah.
welcome here anytime.
Well, and you guys don't get to see there's a lot of hidden stuff and projects that he can't show you yet.
Yeah,
But maybe I'll cheat and show you something. Maybe.
we'll see. If you're interested in metalworking and machining content, go check out Dale's channel, Metal Tips and Tricks. Thanks, Dale, for joining me, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, guys. Take care.